Good morning and welcome to another taupe eyeshadow look. In case this is your first time tuning in, I am doing a little series centered around taupe eyeshadows because I have semi-recently developed a bit of an obsession with the color taupe, as you can see from my sweater and from all the eyeshadow looks that I plan to do in the next couple of weeks. I was actually making a mental list of all the taupe eyeshadows that I would like to demo for this video, and I think we could easily be busy until Christmas, but I'll just keep going. And also you gotta let me know if you get bored with it, so because I can keep going, but if you're bored you have to let me know. Anyway, I've already done my base makeup and I'm going to proceed with the color cosmetics. I'm going to grab the what is this called again? I will never remember the name of this. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Light Medium. Light medium, correct? Yeah, this is the shade Light Medium, which is a beautiful cooler toned cream bronzer. And I love using this bronzer, particularly in the winter months. As you can also see, I've quite the big pan on it, which indicates how much I have loved it. Full disclaimer though, I do think the pan of these is quite shallow, so it is fairly easy to hit pan on them. So while I'm really proud of myself for hitting pan on this bronzer, I don't think it is an achievement I can fully take credit for. Next I'm going to take a cream blush, and I'm going to take the Divine Rose Glow cream blush from Pat McGrath Labs. This is a beautiful cooler toned pink, which I also think will fit this look very nicely. So as you've already seen from the thumbnail, we are going for complete overkill today. I'm planning to use 3 eyeshadow palettes. I know it's total overkill. You definitely don't have to. You can do versions of these looks which are significantly simpler and do not involve 3 eyeshadow palettes, but I'm feeling a little bit extra today and I want to put little colorful touches here and there. Personally, I'm a huge fan of combining taupe together with other cooler toned eyeshadows, more specifically blue, green and purple. So this is going to be a recurring theme in this series. I pair taupes with a variety of pops of color which are in this color family, these color families. I'm going to highlight with the Victoria Beckham stick highlighter in the shade Pearl. This is a beautiful cream highlighter which almost looks translucent on the skin, so it doesn't really have much of a color, but it adds the most beautiful, like, lit from within look, and I absolutely love this highlighter. I've zoomed you in for the eye look, but before we get started, I would like to introduce you to the taupe guest star of this specific episode, which is going to be this shade here from the Gilded Nirvana palette from Pat McGrath Labs. So this is the holiday collection palette from the brand, and this eyeshadow here in particular was one of the highlights of the palette for me and one of the biggest reasons I ordered it. And I think I might not be lying if I tell you this is my favorite shade in this palette as well. It is a beautiful rosy toned, very glittery taupe shade. The name of this shade is Moonlit Mauve. Not that it really matters, but in case you were curious, this is Moonlit Mauve, which is in her Italian Quint formula. You can totally slap this eyeshadow on all over your lids and call it a day without even bothering to use other shadows around it. However, I do want to give a little bit more definition to my lids, so for that I'm going to go into another favorite palette, and one which you're going to see come back definitely more than once. This is the Lila Lumiere palette from Visyard, and I want to pair Moonlit Mauve with mattes from this palette, and more specifically I want to go into this rosier taupe matte over here because I think that will fit very nicely with the look, and I want to deepen it out a little bit with this darker brown. So I'm going to take a very fluffy blending brush and go into this shade. It is more of like a mid-tone, not like the lightest tone. In theory I could have gone with one of the lighter shades, but I really like the tone of this shade, and this formula is quite malleable, so I definitely think I can work with it. So I'm going to fluff this eyeshadow through my crease and a little bit through my outer corners, and you can see how beautifully cool toned and taupe it is. And this formula essentially blends out on its own. I don't even have to work all that hard for it. I'm going to take a somewhat smaller, pointier brush, and I'm going to go into the deeper brown and apply that to the outer corner of the eyelids. Not going to apply too much because I don't want it to be too dramatic. I just want there to be some beautiful definition in the outer corner of the lids. Next I'm going to apply a little bit of my NYX glitter glue because I would like Moonlit Mauve to have something to stick to. Not that it absolutely needs it, but I do think it benefits from a little bit of a techier base. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that and lay it on the part of the lid where I didn't apply the matte shadows from Visyart, including the inner corners, FYI. And then just using my finger, I'm going to go into Moonlit Mauve and apply that all over the eyelid. This eyeshadow is such like a literally perfect match for the sweater that I'm wearing. This is a sweater that I purchased from Primark, and I usually buy only like undergarments, as in like pajamas, like shirts I wear underneath sweaters, socks, that kind of thing from Primark. I rarely buy clothes that I go out and about with from Primark because they're not the bestest of qualities. But this specific sweater has wool in it and it feels very nice, and it is just such a stunning, unique color that I had to have it, and I treat it as a, you know, outdoor to work kind of garment. So I am very careful with it. I wash it together with my woolen sweaters, and you're probably going to find me completely ridiculous, but I went back to the store the other day and I purchased another one to have as a backup because I don't know how hard it will be for me to find another sweater in this color, so I thought I need to have a backup of it. I'm just going to give everything a nice little blend here through the crease, so it appears nice and seamless. Alright, and now it is time to go into the final palette for this video, which is going to be the Denim Dimensions from Charlotte Tilbury. You can't see it, but I'm wearing a really dark brown skirt. I have my blue earrings here from Alice, and I want to apply a little bit of like blue elements here and there. To start off with, I'm going to use this shade paired or like mixed in with this shade, so the two like highlighted type shades in my inner corner, because they will just provide that little like hint of blue while highlighting the inner corners of the eyelids. And of course I'm going to apply a fun blue pop on the lower lashes. And in my opinion, there's something to be said about the pairing of taupe with cornflower blue in particular. Not any kind of blue, but cornflower blue. And that's also one of the reasons I purchased this eyeshadow palette specifically, because it features several eyeshadows which could be considered a cornflower blue. So I'm going to go into the matte here, and I'm going to gently mix it with this more satin shade, and I'm going to use that as my lower lash line accent, because I think this color combo will just look absolutely stunning. Now I want to intensify the effect of the cornflower blue on my lower lashes, so I'm going to grab this Kiko eyeshadow stick that I've had forever. It is in the shade 31, unfortunately a shade that was long ago discontinued. And I'm going to apply that here in the waterline, because I really want that lower lash line to pop. So let's say you do not have a cornflower blue pencil, because those are hard to come by. You can always apply something that is like a little beige or like a white pencil or like a skin colored pencil, and then you can apply that in your waterline and then go over that with whatever eyeshadow you want on your waterline or lower lash line. And I'm going to actually apply a little bit of that just to extra set the Kiko eyeshadow stick. It doesn't really need it, but I just wanted to show you this trick. In case you don't have a specific color of eyeliner, you can pop a little bit of like a beige or a skin color type liner and then apply a little bit of eyeshadow very strategically in your waterline. That is of course obviously going to be the case only if you don't have really sensitive eyes, and you can go in with powder eyeshadow in your waterline. Let's do a very quick sparkle moment. Remember how in my last video I was referring to a neutral that leans a little bit more rosy? This is the shade that I was talking about. This is the shade, I want to say it's Eliza Sand. Yeah, this is the shade Eliza Sand from the satin line of Gucci. And this is one of my absolute favorite like neutrals to use in the winter because it's cool toned. It has a little bit of a rosy undertone, but it doesn't wash me out, and it just fits with so many of my taupe eyeshadow looks. I think you might see this lipstick come by more than once or twice. I'm really loving how this look turned out. I love the combination of this taupe together with the cornflower blue. I think the Mauve Mystique shade from Gilded Nirvana is such a beautiful eyeshadow. Anyway, I'm going to quickly wrap this video up because I really have to get going to work. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about this look, and we will see each other for another taupe look very, very soon. Bye!